progress.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. Baruchim Habayim. We're continuing in Mishnah Berura, Daf HaShavua, and we are up to Siman Tzadi Beis, Seif Beis. Siman Tzadi Beis, Seif Beis. Again, yesterday we learned L'chatchila one should not daven until they're boidek themselves. Boidek themselves, I do not think just means say, well, do I have to go or not? It's something more than that. It's a concerted effort to see if one is able to relieve themselves. Seif Beis says in the Emtza Tefillah in Nisar Leitav. Let's say middle of davening, a person had an urge. Yamid Atzma et Shigmar v'lo yafsik. You should hold yourself back until you finish, and you should not interrupt. B'shas kriya shema u'berchoseh nisara. So the first clause was speaking about if you had an urge in the middle of Shemana Esrei. But if during kriya shema and the brachos you had an urge, bein l'ktan and bein l'gdolim, kairei kedarkai, then you read it like usual. Let's see what that means. Haga, v'davka she'enu mesabek kol kach de'isbei mishum bal teshaksu. Says Rama, as long as you don't have such a strong urge that there's an issue about teshaksu. B'lav hachi, otherwise, yosei toiv lahafsik, it's better to interrupt. Says the Tshuvas Harajba, Siman Kuf Lamed Aleph. The Tshuvas Harajba, Siman Kuf Lamed Aleph, pasak the mutter. The Rajba paskins it's mutter. U'Trumas Hadesh and pasak the asur. V'tzarch l'chalik kach. And you have to make this difference. We'll see what that means. If you want to interrupt and urinate, you can. So let's start one statement at a time. The first statement is, if in middle of Shemana Esrei you had an urge, you should hold yourself in until the end of Shemana Esrei. It says in Mishnah Berura, Be'emtza, Ratzolomer, Shekoidam atfila badak atzmai. Before davening, you checked yourself, and you did not have an urge. Or before davening you checked yourself, and you went to the bathroom. Or you didn't have to go at all. Therefore, if afterwards you had an urge even to defecate, you're not to interrupt. So, if either a person checked himself and he did go to the bathroom, or he had no need to, and it only came up in the middle of the davening, you don't have to interrupt the middle of Shemana Esrei, even if someone has an urge for a gedolim. What if somebody feels he needs to go to the bathroom, but he's constipated? Should you daven or not? No, shouldn't. Says Rav Vosner, mitzvah lenakos atzma ayidei sam hamishalshal. Take something that you could go. Better not to daven if you're constipated. Or, like Rav Miller would say, eat an apple before you go to sleep and drink a glass of water, and in the morning you'll see the Yeshua. Okay, that's what Rav Miller would say. Okay. Now, okay, other diseases, speak to your local Orthodox rabbi. The Mishnah Berura continues. Upashat al achar shasim shmana esrei asur loy lahamad atzmai oid v'loy mar kedusha. This din, basically, what is this halacha? That if the urge comes in the middle of Shemana Esrei, you continue the Shemana Esrei, you're grandfathered in. Your Shemana Esrei is grandfathered in. But only your Shemana Esrei, but not Kedusha. Don't wait around, let me chapa Kedusha. Nah. As soon as the Shemana Esrei is over, you gotta go. You're not to hold yourself back and say Kedusha ki zehu inyan achar. Kedusha is a different subject. Like we said in Siman Nun Hey, Seif Gimel. What did we say in Siman Nun Hey, Seif Gimel? There, the Rama said, with minyan, basically, if you had a minyan, and you lost the minyan, you could finish Chazar Sasha, you could finish Shemana Esrei, but you could finish Shemana Esrei, but you can't start Chazar Hashatz. So in other words, the Chazar Hashatz is considered Inyan Acher. That's what we learned in Siman Nun Hey, where the Mechaber says if you started Avos and people go out of the minyan, you could finish even Kedusha. I assume that means in Hischel Avos, it's talking about the Avos of Chazar Hashatz. Yeah, but if you just started the silent Shemana Esrei, you cannot start Chazar Hashatz. Siv Katan continues the Mishnah Berura. Upashat. 1 second. If you could hold yourself in for 72 minutes, then ayin le'el b'siv katan zayin, whether you are allowed to say dvarim shebekdusha. Right? Remember the Shari Tshuva says, even if you could hold yourself in for 72 minutes, you still should not say dvarim shebekdusha. However, remember the Rama said that kohen nitzrach l'nekavav asar afilu b'divrei Torah. And the Mishnah Berura brought an opinion, if you could hold yourself in for 72 minutes, dvarim shebekdusha are mutter. The Shari Tshuva said that lechatchila, even if you could hold yourself in for 72 minutes, dvarim shebekdusha are not mutter. By the way, just to review, that means if a person's in the middle of learning and they could hold themselves in for 72 minutes, the Mishnah Berura seems to come out that one should be machmer and go to the bathroom. That's the opinion of the Shari Tshuva. Earlier on in Siman Vav, the Mishnah Berura only brought the opinion of the Shari Tshuva. In this Siman, the Mishnah Berura also brings the opinion of the Pri Megadim that if you hold yourself in 72 minutes, then you don't have to interrupt. Reb Chaim Kanievsky explains what that means is that b'makom tzoyrech you could be mekel like the Pri Megadim, but if you don't have a specific need and you're in the middle of learning, it sounds like you should go to the bathroom. All printed stories withstanding, I don't know. The story that I saw, it sounded like the person had a specific issue. He called it an issue. The word he used was issue. Anyway, I will follow the Mishnah Berura and what Reb Chaim writes over any English story. That's the bottom line. If somebody's in the middle of learning and they have to go to the bathroom and they can hold it in 72 minutes, they should go. Okay. Siv Katan Tes. V'im b'shas Kriya Shema u'berchased Nasar. So what if this happened during Berchas Kriya Shema? After B'Kriya Shema u'berchased yachal leilech makam zel makam acher li panei sham aylahato mayim. Meaning, even though during Kriya Shema and the brachas, you could go from this place to a different place to defecate or to urinate, u'chamaysh masayim b'soif hasif, afilu hachi im huraitza hu yachal likrois kedarkoi vein tzarach lahafsik. Why? Kivan demikoydem badak es atzmai. So it's very interesting. If you're in the middle of Shemana Esrei, you're required to hold yourself in. If you're in the middle of Kriya Shema b'chaiseha, then you read it kedarkoi, koirei kedarkoi. Meaning you could continue. Why? You're also grandfathered in. You're also grandfathered in. As long as you're not violating Bal Teshaksu. Otherwise, it's better to interrupt. And if you want to go to the bathroom, you can. So Mishnah Berura says, the Ayin Be'er Halacha, the Beyarnu, the Ein Mutter Rak Ad Shemana Esrei. Look in the Be'er Halacha, who explains that it's only Mutter up till Shemana Esrei. You're only grandfathered in up to Shemana Esrei. Avo Shemana Esrei do Inyan Acher Asr Loy Leimar. But Shemana Esrei, which is a different Inyan, you're not allowed to say Kivan du Tzarach L'Nekavav. you're going to lose out being soymech gula letfila. So you say, so schedule your bathroom trip to Tzor Yisrael. What if you already said the words Goal Yisrael and you realize you have an urge to go to the bathroom and you could hold it in 72 minutes? You still go to the bathroom. It's better to go to the bathroom, even if you could hold it in for 20 hours, than to be soymech gula letfila. Al ken yir lahafsik al kalponim beberchas emes v'yatziv. Therefore, it's better if you're going to go to the bathroom for Shemon Esrei to be mafsik in the brach of emes v'yatziv and to go out kedei sheyuchal achar kach lismech gula letfila. Meaning, better to schedule your bathroom trip not by Gal Yisrael. V'yoyser toiv im yachalatzis ben haprakim. Better to schedule the bathroom trip ben haprakim. The Dirshu points out there is no ben haprakim after Shema until Shemona Esrei. So what does Mishnah Berura mean to schedule ben haprakim? Ben haprakim means of Kriya Shema itself. Let's say a person has an urge before he starts Berachos Kriya Shema. Nira de asr loy leimar shuv ha-berachos Kriya Shema kodem sheyivdek es atzmai. It's asr to say the Berachos Kriya Shema until you check yourself. Im kain, lefi ma shemavur la'el, b'soif Siman and Daled, de Baruch Hu shaykh leBerachos Kriya Shema, based on what we learned, that Baruch Hu is connected to Berachos Kriya Shema. V'achar Baruch Hu nechshav ke'emtza perak shel yotzer ar. Once you say Baruch Hu, it's like the emtza perak. Im nisoyer loy tava b'soif psukah de zimra. If a person has an urge at the end of psukah de zimra, aser loy leimar Baruch Hu. They're now to answer Baruch Hu. Tehu inyan acher. Im loy sheyachal lahamin atzmai ad Parsha. Unless you could hold yourself in a Parsha, yesh lismaich lahakel. You can rely on the lenient opinion, the chanal b'sif katan zayin, that when you could wait 72 minutes, you're allowed to be lenient and the answer dvarim sheba kedusha. That's the machlokes Shari Tshuva and the Pri Megadim. Namely, listen to this scenario. If a person had an urge at the end of Psukah de Zimra, and the Chazan says Baruch Hu, are you allowed to answer the words Baruch Hu es Hashem ha'mavorach le'olam va'ad? Baruch Hashem ha'mavorach le'olam va'ad. So it depends. If you can't hold yourself in 72 minutes, you can't answer those words. If you could hold yourself in 72 minutes, then you could be soymech on the lenient opinion of the Pri Megadim and answer the words of Baruch Hashem ha'mavorach le'olam va'ad. That's what we mentioned earlier, that Reb Chaim Kanievsky said that here the Mishnah Berura brings the lenient opinion because with Makam Tzairach you could rely on the opinion that if you could hold yourself in 72 minutes, you could answer Dvarim Sheba Kedusha. Okay, friends, we'll hold it over here. Okay? Kol Tov.
Recording stopped.